Part 4. We're going to take that same idea with the matchbooks. I want you to get another piece of paper. We're going to do the same thing with that one. We're going to hot dog fold it and then cut it down the mountain. Okay? Hot dog fold it, cut it down the mountain. Still doing a workshop with some of the homeschool moms in my group. My name is Lisa Schaefer. I always make sure I tell people that because gosh knows it's important. My husband calls me that. So. Cut down that mountain, and then we're going to use all 3 of these pieces that we have left. We have one left over from the matchbook that we made, and now we're going to use this one, and this is one of my favorites. What I find sometimes is that my kids will kind of get hooked on a certain style of minute book for a while, and they'll try to use that style for everything. I mean, like they'll do the vocabulary words and whatever else we're doing in the unit, and they'll try to incorporate it into that same. Eventually I'll say, okay, you have 7 layer look books inside this project. Let's do something different. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to line all 3 of these papers up. You probably can't see it. I think it's white, so I'm not sure we can see it. Here's what's cool about this. You're going to line all of these up, and because you lined these 3 up this way with a gap, you've got about an 1.5 inch gap here, inch here. Okay, I've got 3. All right, now watch. You should have the exact same thing on the other side, right? Okay, I'm going to take one side and fold it to the other side, and now all of a sudden I have 6 little layers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, does that make sense?
It's the folding, right?
It's the folding that's scary because it's pretty thick now. We've got 3 pieces there, right?
Well, just kidding.
All right, okay. Now, on what you'll do, the only place you put glue in this project is on that crease. So when you separate these pieces, okay, you're going to put a little strip of glue or glue stick in that crease, and then you put the next piece in there. Okay, we put it in the crease right there. We put this one in there, and then I'm going to put a little glue in that crease. You can't see that because it's down here on the table, and I can't manipulate my laptop, so I put a little glue in the crease. Here's my 3rd one. Okay, I just used the crease to hold all of that together. Okay, does that make sense? This is called a layer lookbook. Now, I've got 6 layers here available for information. Obviously, this one up here is going to be the layer at the top. I'm not going to be able to hold quite as much information underneath that flap as I could, maybe the layer at the bottom. Okay. But let's say you're teaching your children place value. And you turn the layer lookbook on its side. Let's say you use a marker or a pen and you write numbers. Let's see, 7, 9, 4, 8, 3, 2. Okay. These are my ones, tens, hundred. I had to look. These are my ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. Okay, I'm going to put my comma here, and I'm going to write ones. I got left to right and backwards. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and 100,000s. Okay, so now I have a project that's teaching place value and spelling because I'm writing that. Right? Okay. You can do it. You can use this to teach fractions. Let's say this is a whole, and I write a whole number here. I put 1 whole, W-O, on the top flap, 1 whole. Okay? Or just 1, the number 1. And then I cut this flap right down the center. And I put 1/2 on this side and 1/2 on this side. And then I cut this one in thirds. I put a third, a third, a third. I cut this one in fourths. I put a fourth, a fourth, a fourth, a fourth. You see? Then they can relate all those pieces to the whole. Because it's the same size. It looks the same. Each one of those layers looks the same, right? Okay. Are you excited? That's cool, right? Okay. Everybody nod. Yeah, that's cool. All right. So this is called a layer look book. You can also use this just to write information and definitions. You can do vocabulary words here with a definition under the flap. You can do just little pieces of, a lot of times what I did with my kids was they were doing a unit study, and so I would ask them like parts of the story, you know, for example, setting. I'd make them write what the setting is under the flap. I'd make them write what style of literature it was. If we were doing, you know, some kind of language arts, I remember having to do that with different kinds of fiction, and I wanted to know, was this a fantasy story? Was it a parable? Was it a fable? So you can do that, and you can make as many layers as you want, obviously. And the other thing you need to remember is you can do that with a whole piece of paper. So it can be a much larger project than this. This would obviously be something used with a younger child. If you're going to do some language arts, the project might need to be bigger, and they'll need to have places to write. If you do that, take notebook paper or whatever writing paper that you use with the child, whatever age they are, and have them paste that on the layer underneath so they have a writing space that's usable for them. Okay, so that's a layer look book. All right, we're going to glue this into our project and go on to the next thing.